we threw one to him in the third quarter where it wasn't a double pass, and I think he got like 10 yards there. So he did a bunch of those against him last time where he got most of his stats. So when you got a runner like that, you feel like they're going to come up aggressively, and so you do stuff like that, try to slow him down.
I think you really know what he's capable of, or you traded for him. But when you see it up close doing it for your team, what kind of goes through your mind watching Christian do what he did today?
I think everyone knows how good of a player he is. So, but I just like how consistent he is and under control in what he does. He's a very smart player, and even though he makes a lot of plays and stuff, but the consistency of how he plays his game and stuff, I feel like was a great guy to add for us.
He's obviously attempted 3 passes before this in his career. Did you have to see him throw a ball before you put that in the game plan?
I remember Thursday night when we were doing the red zone, me yelling down the rooms, just anyone will answer. Does anyone know if Christian can throw? And then Brian Fleury emailed or sent through text a video of him throwing like a 53-yarder a few years ago. So when I saw that, I felt he could throw, and we repped it in practice the next day, and he did throw good then and threw great today.
What did you think of his footwork and mechanics and spiral on that throw?
There is no footwork on that play. You attack like you're a runner, so they come up, and then you got to get it up and down before you avoid that guy hitting you. And I always get nervous when I see that ball up because I know the guy's open. And I mean, it's what happened with Debo and Juwan a couple years ago or last year when you get so open. I just want him to catch it. Juwan bobbled it, so you're never good till you make sure they stand up and you see the refs. So we were pumped.
Kyle, were you laughing when you looked at that when you saw the 50-yard pass?
No, I wasn't laughing. I was saying, thank goodness. I mean, when you're sitting there on Thursday night, you're trying to find things that can help you call less plays and not have to call 6 of them. You want to find something that hopefully just makes you call 1. We knew how good of a runner he was on it, so we were really hoping he was a good thrower. And once we knew that, we were pretty excited.
Did you have a reaction when you asked him to do that?
I didn't look. He doesn't have much reaction. He just seems he is very businesslike, and anything you do, he seems to get, or ask him to do, he seems to just get excited and knows he can do it.
On his touchdown catch, Kyle, it looked like kind of a broken play where he scooted up the right sideline. How did the play unfold in your eyes as you were looking?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, Jimmy went all the way across the board. Started with a receiver on the left side. I think it was Ray. Went to the right, and we were pulling Christian out just on a wide route to kind of pull coverage, open up other people, and they dropped in all zones, so everyone was sitting there in the middle, and Jimmy was allowed. I mean, it had to have been unbelievable protection, the fact that he was allowed to go all the way across, and then the buzzer kind of stepped up on Christian, and he just snuck by the end zone, and those two made a hell of a play, and it's a play you don't think you're going to have time for. So the defense the O-line did a hell of a job giving time for that off schedule.
What are your first impressions of Jimmy as a whole in the second half in this game?
He made some big time plays there. It's the one to Dwelly down the sidelines was huge. I thought he was real good on third down. I know Ramsey got his hands on that one where he was a blitzer, and then he just stopped, so that one kind of surprised him. But for the most part, I thought Jimmy was good with the ball, and he made that huge off-schedule play to get to Dwelly down the sidelines, made one a Christian. Then it was a hell of a throw going to George there at the end.
When you know Debo's going to miss this week fairly early in the week, I assume, how much does that impact going to Christian where to use him like this, and what kind of relief was it to have that as another option?
It didn't really change anything. We were going to do the same stuff to him, and you're going to do the same stuff to Debo, and you just see how it balances out. And I think the hardest thing in the week was just, when Juwan not being ready too, just having to change some stuff and switch a bunch of guys around towards the end of the week, which made it a big challenge. And I knew it was kind of an outside chance on Debo, but then when Juwan didn't, it was tough on the guys. So the receivers had to change a lot of positions and stuff, which put some pressure on them. But they stepped it up and did a hell of a job.
You guys held him to like 1.5 yards per play in the second half. It was something crazy like that. What do you think clicked at halftime, and what was the message at halftime?
There wasn't much message. You come in, you go over your adjustments, and we were right there. The score, what was it at halftime? 14-10. We knew we were getting the ball first. I felt very excited that we scored last. Obviously wanted a touchdown, wanted to work that clock a little bit more, but we were able to score. And then the whole main thing was that they didn't go down and score, so I felt we got a chance to lap them. So that's the thing. You feel the best out coming out. We didn't get that done. Defense stopped them, gave us a second chance, and we did. And I thought the coolest thing, really about the second half was wasn't much different than the first half. Guys just, there was times in that game where it looks like things could go the wrong way, but no one really wavered. Like the team felt the same at halftime as they did at the beginning, even in the third quarter when I thought we were going to go down and have a pretty good drive, especially that opening run for 15. Thought we should have got a personal foul on it. Then we almost had the pick, went 3 and out, and kind of stopped it a little bit, but the defense went and answered, and the offense got a second chance. And I really felt today, more than anything, like not one thing really stuck out in terms of it was offense, defense, or special teams. There's not, to me, really one player that was above the rest. I really think I'm really happy and proud of the team today. Like it was all 3 phases, all the players. We needed everybody, and everyone had their part.
Does this come with some relief? 3 and 5, 4 and 4 is the difference going into the bye week with this. Does it feel like it maybe a bigger win than most?
Yeah, going into the bye week 3 and 5 makes it a lot more depressing of a bye week. I'm very well aware of the record, and 4 and 4 feels, it's one game better, but it feels a hell of a lot better than 3 and 5. But you got to be prepared for that either way, and regardless of whether we're 4 and 4, and I've been 5 and 0 and haven't made the playoffs, and been 3 and 6 before and made it, been 3 and 5 and made it. So none of that stuff I try to get too caught up in. It's about getting better throughout injuries, throughout the year. And I feel there's a couple things we've done the last few weeks where I feel that's going the right direction. Offensively, we've had to overcome some injuries on defense. But really to get this win right now, get into the bye, hopefully those guys have earned it. Hopefully they can get healthier, get some guys back, and definitely put ourselves in a much better position to come back and try to make a run at this.
Does Christian have a quarterback's understanding of the offensive game? You just come right in, you can sort of don't have to shrink the playbook at all after.
No, I mean you don't have to shrink the playbook for many guys. I mean, because it's not like they know what all 11 guys are doing. So you give them the rules, and I mean there's 3 types of runs. There's outside zone, there's inside zone, and there's gap runs. So you learn the track on all that stuff, and if there's a guy who's going to tackle you, you try to avoid that guy. So you can get the runs in fast. But the more you can understand, the better you can get at things. I think when you say quarterback with Christian and stuff like that is just kind of his awareness on the field. And that's what I mean by the consistency of them and understanding when to do a lot, when to do a little. And I see Cooper Kupp similar to that and how he plays. And I think Debo is very similar to that. So it's great to have guys like that.
I know you've spoken in the past about the fans here in this stadium. What was it like on the sideline today?
Same as usual. I mean, I think they got there a little later. It seemed like everyone did. But there was definitely more red that only got stronger throughout the game. And it always confuses me a little bit when you're on the road and I don't see a play or something, and then I hear a cheer because I'm always confused what the cheer is for. But you could see as the game started going, I definitely started to feel like we're at home.
You mentioned you were able to score last in the first half. There was still a minute left. Were you surprised the Rams didn't attack there in that position?
Yeah, it was, but there's so many different reasons for that. I mean, we were expecting them to, and they didn't. And sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. You never know what's going to happen. But because they ended up winning, I was glad they didn't.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
All right, thanks, guys.
Nick, what are these games, these 49 Rams games like from a player's perspective as far as the intensity and the rivalry that's been building?
It's just comes down to execution because we know each other so well. But yeah, the intensity always starts off really hot, and it's just a matter of who's going to stick with it through the tough times throughout the game. And today, when we were down, we stuck with it, and they didn't, and that's why we won.
I think they had 6 straight third down conversions, and then you stopped, and that felt like a
We just we came into the game and kind of had to feel them out, see what they're going for. They screened us a ton, and we just had to come in at halftime and realize that it's going to be that type of game, and we're not going to get after them until we are able to stop the screens and the play action stuff. So once we just accepted that and played as hard as we can, we shut them down.
Just a few weeks ago, Nick, you had to try to stop Christian McCaffrey. How different is it when he's doing what he did today for you? What's it like watching?
It's huge, yeah. I mean, another weapon always helps, and without Debo in there, I think he came in and did an amazing job.
Did you watch some of his plays, Nick? Would be on the bench, kind of peeking to see what was going on?
Yeah, I saw the touchdown, and then I saw the one he almost scored on. He's just, like I said, I think to the media last week, he plays our style, and I think he's only going to get better and better.
When you saw the touchdown, which touchdown he had? Like, he was involved in 3.
The one, I think the reception he had, yeah. I don't even know if it was supposed to go to him because there's 2 guys in that area, but it was nice.
Nick, you mentioned like the resilience and grit that's required in a game like this. Can you feel like it's in the second half that maybe you've broken them?
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of surprised when they gave up a little early I think there was maybe 6 or 7 minutes left, and they ran the ball on 3rd down. I was hoping for some more pass rushes there, but I guess they didn't have confidence in coming back.
Did you sense that on the field that once you guys started getting on and roll there in the second half?
I kind of did, yeah. Our offense was rolling, got us a 10-point lead, and usually with them, I mean, like last year when they came back, they're going after us. But after I think the sack, it was pretty much over.
In the first half, you guys didn't have sacks, and there wasn't much of a pass rush. And obviously, there was
There's no pass rush because there was no opportunities to pass rush.
fair enough. So in the second half, I mean, you stopped them on back the first 2 drives. You know, you had the pressure, got the throwaway, and I think Warner had the sack. Were you guys, other than having opportunities to pass rush, were you guys doing anything differently?
No, like I said, we just had to stop those screens, and we had to, I think in the second half, they were in a lot of 3rd and longs opposed to 2nd and 5, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2, where you're not going to be able to rush. And then when we play better on 1st and 2nd down, that opens everything up.
You said last one for many opportunities. Do you feel like the Rams don't seem to be as explosive as they have been in the past? Is that kind of their new identity to just try to chip away?
I can't say that I know what identity they're going for, but we're happy to be 2-0 against them going in the bye. Thanks.
What was your first reaction, Christian, when you saw the game plan called for you to have a halfback pass?
I was fired up, fired up. BA made a great play. That's a tough catch, having to turn like that. So I was super happy when he caught it because that is a tough catch, and he made me look good. So I was fired up for it.
We have to ask if a touchdown reception. Was that intended for you or for Kittle since you were in the same area?
Oh, I'm not sure. Probably me. I'm assuming, but I think me and George are happy with whoever would have got that one.
Did it catch you off guard a little bit late or during the week in practice when Kyle said that you might have that halfback option pass?
No, that didn't catch me off guard. You got to be ready for everything, but it's obviously a great call, dialed it up at a perfect time, and like I said, the guys did a good job blocking. BA made a great play.
Christian, one of each today, passing, running, catching. Only 4 guys since the merger in 1970 have done that, and they're the first since 2005. How does that strike you when you hear that joining that company?
Yeah, that's awesome. Obviously, those things are really cool. I think the biggest thing is coming out with a win and playing a second half like that too. And I think the thing I'm most happy about is just this whole team welcoming me in with open arms, and especially the running back room, guys like Jeff Wilson and Juice. They just helped me all week learn everything, and I don't know. I think that just means a lot to me. So obviously those things are cool, but I'm just proud to be a 49er, and it felt good to get a win today.
Christian, did it help you at all that you played these guys twice in 3 weeks, just in terms of knowing the personnel and everything?
I don't know. I think every game is different regardless. I'm in obviously a whole new offense, been here 9 days. So for me, I was just trying to master my craft, and I think there's still so much more left for me to learn. And I'm just excited to continue to, grow and get better with this team and with the offense, and hopefully continue to get some wins.
It's only been 9 days. Was there anything, I mean, you kind of put in a lot of work with the guys, but anything that you did above and beyond that you feel like you put together the performance you did today to really know what was going on?
I wouldn't say, I think just it takes what it takes. You got to learn the playbook as quickly as you can and under the circumstances. And, Coach T, Coach Lynn, all the guys in the room have helped me out a lot. So Jimmy getting with me too, spending extra time, going over how he sees things, all that stuff, means a lot. And, if it's a little bit extra time, that's what it takes.
Is it a little bit of extra time or is it like hours of extra time?
It takes a good amount of time, for sure.
Christian, do you have any official quarterback experience, like Pop Warner or anything?
No, both my little brothers are quarterbacks, so I learned a lot from them. But, I used to always want to play quarterback just because it was, the best position. But I've been a running back since I was 7.
And so what have you picked up from your brothers? Of course, tips.
You got to get that elbow up, You got to get loose, get the elbow up, and it helps when someone's wide open as well.
They're obviously throwing a lot at you in 9 days. What's been the most difficult part for you as far as learning the offense? What's been the biggest challenge, I guess?
I think each week presents new challenges, depending on the game plan, depending on who you're playing. I think for me, just getting comfortable with spacing and timing with the O-line. Those guys did such an amazing job, and I think there's still a lot of meat on the bone that I left out there. And so I think really understanding what we're trying to accomplish as an offense, Kyle's run game and pass game is so specific. And so for me, it's just about, really understanding what we're trying to do with the play and helping set up blocks and, finishing plays down the field and eliminating negative runs.
Does it being so specific make it a little easier to learn, I guess, so there's no gray area?
It sometimes, I would say, like I said, there's challenges every week. I think the biggest thing for me is just continuing to get the reps with the guys.
Christian, how will you spend your bye week? You guys have been cramming a lot. Will you continue that, or will you have a little time to go from there?
I'll just take a little time off, but I'll try to get with my coaches every day, do something every day, and just to continue to master the book.
You said you left meat on the bone. I think a lot of people will be surprised by that after a game like this. Do you ever feel like you have a perfect game?
No, I don't think anyone ever has a perfect game. I think anytime you check the tape, regardless of the statistics, there's always a couple plays here or there where you're kind of beating yourself up about. So I'm sure that'll happen again this week. But that's the beauty of football, is there's always opportunities to get better.
On the touchdown.
Reception, it looked like you had some connection with Jimmy. Can you explain how that happened? It seemed a little early for you guys to have that kind of chemistry with the players there.
Just a little bit backyard football, Play wasn't designed to go to me, but one thing I learned about Jimmy is he's a football player through and through. And he showed that all week in practice. And, we didn't rep that, but that's just a guy going out there playing ball. And sometimes that's the best way to go about it.
You said you spent a lot extra time with him. What has that been like?
It's been great. The way he sees the field is so awesome. He makes it easy on us. So it was great to spend some extra time with him.
What number were you going to
Ooh, that's a tough question. I'm still getting to know the book. I don't know. I'm not sure. Probably should know that, but yeah.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Niners.
A little bit different feeling than a week ago.
Thank goodness. Yeah, no, that was a great one. That was fun.
What is it about the Rams that brings this out of the guys?
I'm really not sure. I can't put my finger on it. I mean, it's always just like a different game every time. I think the last time we played here, not the NFC Championship game, like going into the half on that Week 18 game, what was it, 17-3? Being down, being able to come in the half, talk about it, rally, and make plays. We knew we needed this one bad. We have a bye week. Didn't want to go down 3-5. It was a division game, so we came out and we took care of business.
What were you able to do to get things rolling in the second half, particularly shut down the short passing game stuff?
Yeah, we made some adjustments coverage-wise. We were running. I don't want to give away what we was running, but I think just like kind of getting more in third and favorable down and distances to be able to kind of tee up some more pressures on third down. I think that's what made Stafford uncomfortable and being able to get off the field because we just couldn't get off the field in the first half.
Is that, Nick mentioned kind of the same thing, that they were able to screen and short pass to Cobb and everything, and so you couldn't really generate a pass rush. I mean, you didn't have a chance to pass rush.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they just kept marching the ball down the field in that first half. You mentioned it, like screens were the name of the game, just getting the ball to the tight end, running backs. And then the difference in the first game and the second in this game was just when they did get down their last game, we would hold them to 3, and then this first half of this game, they got those 2 touchdowns. So the second half was huge for us to be able to get that shutout.
Were you guys busy on the sideline in the second half making those adjustments, or did you get a chance to watch McCaffrey and what he was doing?
No, you always get to see the offense and what they're doing, and man, I'm happy he's on our side.
He's next to you, so you're down a couple running backs. Can you just talk about how tough it is to step in and play linebacker in short notice, and how you felt those 2 guys did next to you?
Yeah, no, Orrin did an amazing job, man. I still got to watch it, but just feeling his energy, his presence out there, and the way that he played. It's never perfect, but like you mentioned, to just be able to have your name called and step in there and play big minutes, he did a great job.
I'm sure you'd like to be better than 4-4 at the bye, but you are 3-0 in the division. How important is that to be in that spot?
No, I mean, that's huge. 3-0 in the division in terms of playoff stuff down the line, and like being a veteran player now, I know what that means. But like you mentioned, you don't want to drop 4 games to start the year. But at the same time, I think if we take in what we've learned from those 4 games and allow it to harden us and make us a better team, then obviously we'll look back and be like, man, I'm happy that we took something from it.
Did you get a sense that was already happening today?
Say in what? Yeah. I mean, just having the most sour taste in your mouth after the way that we competed last Sunday, against Kansas City. Your back's against the wall. How are you going to show up? How are you going to respond? And obviously, we responded the right way.
Why are you guys so consistently successful in stopping their run game? I mean, what is it that you guys see or know about them where you're constantly basically making them one-dimensional?
I guess it's kind of hard to put your finger on, but I mean, it's always just a matter of it all starts up front. The D-line penetrating, and they kind of have their tendencies in terms of when they're going to run the ball, and when the D-line's getting off and we're playing with our hands, getting off blocks and tackling them for 3 or less, then that's going to obviously open things up in what we can call and do on second, third down.
Anything else? Thanks, Fred.
Thanks, guys.
Everyone.
Jimmy, on Thursday, you made a comment that Christian sees the field like a quarterback. What did you know and when did you know it?
Oh, man. Honestly, watching film of him from Carolina, started to see it, and then on the practice field, just slowly, he would do little things. He would sit in zones, talk the same way to me when we're just like talking about what we saw, and man, it showed out here today. He made some nice plays for us, run game and pass game, and just a touchdown. I mean, that's being a football player. He just saw the space. It's not really how it was drawn up, but he just went to the space and made a nice catch. That was a real nice catch.
A few plays where
Throw was all right. Catch was a lot better.
there was a few plays where you looked like you were going through the reads and it off to Christian. I mean, how incredible the safety valve is that.
It's awesome. It's all of our backs too. They played great today, but yeah, Christian, a couple of those just weren't really scripted. It wasn't how it was planned out. But yeah, whenever you got a guy like that, and we got a lot of playmakers in there, but you just got to get the ball in their hands, and that's what I was trying to do today. Thought they took away some of the deeper stuff from us, and we had to go underneath. But when they do that, our guys run with the ball better than anybody.
Was the touchdown one of those unscripted ones? Or what exactly happened? The throw to Christian.
To Christian, yeah. It was basically went through the whole read, left to right, came back to Christian. He wasn't even really in the read, and he just turned it upfield. And that's just being a football player. And we've been trying to emphasize that on offense, just being a football player, being in the moment, and I thought guys did a good job of that today.
Christian mentioned that you guys have spent a little bit extra time together. What does that look like, and what have you guys been doing?
Just little things. Trying to get him on our level as fast as possible. A lot of our guys on offense have been doing this for years together, so it's not an easy thing to grasp. But I thought he did a great job this week. Really, honestly, no questions in the huddle during this game, which is incredible from him. Just the mental capacity to pick that up that quickly. But yeah, I thought guys stepped up all over the field though. Starting with Christian, and I thought it just played its way down, and all of our guys played good today. I mean, we rushed for over 100 yards. That's always a good formula for us.
I guess technically, what number was in the progression on the touchdown catch?
5. I mean, I don't know. That wasn't really how it was scripted. But yeah, just made a play.
Jimmy, how often did you guys practice the play where he threw the ball, the halfback option pass? And
Good amount.
you knew that was coming at that point?
I honestly, yeah. I mean, I knew the spot of the field we were thinking it for, but Kyle, that was a hell of a play call by him, and it wasn't the perfect look or anything, but guys, just being a football player. I mean, BA had a tough look with the corner, and even had safety over top of him who ended up biting up, but just thought it was a good play, good throw and catch by Christian and BA.
Your offense seemed to get better after halftime this week for a change. I mean, what do you attribute that to?
You giving us a hard no, I'm kidding. No, that third quarter stuff though. I mean, honestly, we talked about it as skill guys. I think that's when the game's won at the beginning of the third quarter. We had a chance, to come out and take advantage of that, and I thought guys did. Just we calmed down, we settled into our game plan, and guys just stuck with it. And I think the results speak for themselves.
You almost got intercepted by Jalen Ramsey at the start of that third quarter, and he dropped that interception. Just think, okay, maybe our luck's changed.
No, I was thinking about what we could have done to avoid it. Just luck. I mean, obviously you want luck on your side, but yeah, just me and George got to be on the same page there.
Jimmy, in these types of situations, we virtually always expect questions in the huddle when you guys have been with the team for 10 days.
Yeah, I mean, sort of. Yeah, you do. Chris last week, coming off 2 days with us, so obviously expect that. But yeah, he was clean today, and I credit him just for all the studying and stuff that he does. I mean, that ain't easy. I've been in that situation before, and just the whirlwind that's going on around you to focus in on the game plan like that takes a special individual.
When this team starts playing complementary football like you did in the second half, it feels a bit like a tidal wave. And how important was it for this team to get that feeling of dominance entering a bye week, since you're going to have an extra week to kind of reflect on?
Yeah, it was big. It was big. Just and we talked about it. I know our core group of leaders in there. We try to emphasize it to the guys. That's how we've made our runs in the past here. That's how we smother teams. When you stop score like that, that's a terrible feeling, I would bet, on the other sideline. So the more we could do that and be on the same page with our defense and special teams all just complementing each other, it's a dangerous combination.
When you have an offensive performance like this without Debo, and you see what Christian can do in particular, what does it make you think the ceiling for this offense can be when Debo gets back?
Yeah, I mean, we still got we got a ways to go. But yeah, I thought, with Debo being down, and honestly Juwan was down too. Guys had to step into different roles today, and especially in the first half, I think that was kind of messing us up a little bit, and that was big of us. Just show the maturity of this team, just how we calmed down. Everyone took a breath on the sideline and came out in the second half. And I thought, like you were saying, we played better in the second half, and I think it was guys stepping up in big moments that they usually aren't in. And I think Ross Dwight catching that go ball. I mean, he's with Juice being down, he had to step up for that, and it was just big moments like that guys kept making.
Think of the offensive line as just Trevor Williams, but the last few weeks it seems like Aaron Banks is really coming along. What are you seeing from him just for the first half?
From whose side?
Aaron Banks.
Oh.
What are you seeing from him, and how important is his development for the rest of
Banksy's been playing awesome, man. He's a fun one to have in the huddle too. High energy. He wants to win as much as anybody out there, and love having a guy like that. I thought the O-line as a group played great today, though. They're all stepping up in their own individual ways. I mean, that's a pretty talented front with AD over there and everything. So those guys gave me a lot of clean pockets today. I got to help them out and get the ball out quicker on a couple of those, but they played a clean game today.
Jimmy, obviously a lot of...
Last one.
Oh, last one, okay. Jimmy, obviously a lot of red in the crowd again this week in LA. Do you think that played a role in the changing of the momentum around the third quarter?
Always, yeah, always. I mean, you could feel that from the pregame on. Just our fans were out there early and often. They were screaming. You could feel it, and that's an energy that we feed off of. You know, we got to give them the energy to get loud. We got to make some plays for them. But once we got them going, our fans are like no other, man. They faithful. They get loud. So, all right, thanks, guys.
George, still on that?
George, you said during the week in practice, McCaffrey looked pretty damn good.
Decent, right?
Yeah. He looked better. Now that you're seeing
I think he looked good. I don't know what his stats were, but a trifecta inspired by the World Series, passing, rushing, and catching. The catch was pretty filthy, too, in back of the end zone. He's a hell of a football player. Really, I think one of my favorite things about him so far is I've known him for a couple years. I've been a fan of his. Like, I think everyone's a fan of Christian, like just watching his tape. But like being next to him in a locker room, seeing the work that he puts in, the time that he spent with the coaches trying to figure out our offense, how to cut, what the target is when you're trying to run through the C gap, but on the opposite hash. Like he's put so much time in just 1 week. And so you really appreciate that because you can tell how great he wants to be. And I think it just kind of pushes us all a little bit more too. And also, I mean, he's very talented. I mean, you see the cuts that he makes guys miss. He's slippery. So I think he's only going to get better in our offense, and hopefully we can continue to give him the ball and open up those lanes for him.
George, did you take a TD away from you, though? That ball looked like it was coming your way.
I mean, I was a clear out on that. Usually we don't run that play we usually run that from like the 20 or the 30. So I was just kind of scrambling around trying to get open. But I think Jimmy saw him. I didn't see Christian at all, and he just snagged that. But, hey, I got one at the end, so I'm okay with it.
George, you ain't said there were no questions from Christian in the huddle. And after that short a time, how impressive is that?
Like I said, he's a guy you can tell every day he wants to be great. And his work ethic shows it. He shows up every single day. He's early, leaves late, takes care of his body, takes care of his mind. And like I said, he's always in the offices with the coaches, just trying to figure out, the right way to run the offense as a running back. And it's really fun to see that. And for him to come out there and have 3 touchdowns, it's awesome.
The offense seemed to get better in the second half for a change this week. Was it adjustments, execution? How do you attribute that?
One thing that, Jimmy brought it up to our whole offense was that we've been slow coming out at second half, and we have been. And he's like, we have to, whether it's him, whether it's O-line, whether it's wide receivers, tight ends, whoever it is, we have to come out on it. And so we just made it a point of emphasis, especially this game, just really come out there and just go for it. Why not? We can't waste a possession. We moved the ball. We didn't, score on our opening drive, but we definitely came out a little bit hungry. You could tell our defense got a nice stop, and then after that, our offense was just clicking. Can you silence your phone? Jeez. Kids these days.
George, probably your most complete offensive performance you had. What do you think the ceiling can be for this offense? You still get Debo back and Juwan Jennings.
Yeah, Debo's decent still, right? There's a lot of guys on this offense that can move the ball. We have a lot of guys that get yak. We have a lot of guys that get open. And we have our offensive line, that's what I saw there. I think our offensive line was clicking, especially in the run game. We're, moving and getting holes for Christian, the running backs, giving Jimmy time. I know we had a couple sacks, but I think overall, especially in the second half of that, we played at a really high level, and it was just everybody was just playing together. And I think that was all it is. And, with all those skill positions, there isn't a ceiling, really. We should go out there. We should be getting a lot of points. That was the biggest difference between this week and last week. We scored touchdowns. And so when you score touchdowns, you win games, and we're just going to continue to try to do that in the red zone.
Is Christian McCaffrey first on the backfield? Does it make it easier on your job as run blocker?
When you're running the ball, especially outside zone type of stuff, if you have a running back that's fast enough where you can push the edge and the outside linebacker on the ball, whether it's Leonard Floyd or whoever's out there, and they think that the ball might actually bounce before they cut it up inside, it really eliminates holding calls. It makes my job way easier, and also stretches the defense out. So their backside 3 technique's the guy that's going to have to make the tackle, and he can't do that all day because he weighs 300 plus pounds. And so Christian's figuring that out, but when you have a running back like that can stretch and cut, because that's not every offense. Not every offense does that. Not every offense asks their running backs to do that. And I think Jeff Wilson does a really good job of it too. Tevin Coleman does a great job of it too. But Christian stepped into that role, and I thought he did a good job of setting up his blocks and just allowing us to pave the lane for him.
How would you grade a touchdown pass?
I mean, that was a dot. Perfect. Right to BA. Like I said, the pass was awesome. Catch was awesome. That run play that he scored on, that was complete bust by a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, but it worked. So, hey, gotta love football, right?
I want to go back to the offensive line because it seems like Aaron Banks is playing really well over the past few weeks. Do you notice that, or do you see like the light bulb coming on for him?
Well, yes and no. I mean, Aaron's come a long way. I thought he was a really good player his rookie season. I think it definitely has slowed down for him. And just really what it is just being in the offense. We ask our O-line to do a lot of stuff. We have a lot of different plays. A lot of the plays we run like once or twice. We have a really very dense run game playbook week in and week out. And while the plays are kind of the same, they're very different every single time. And so for Banks to pick that up, I think he's doing really good. He has been playing at a high level. I know PFF tells you guys that stuff. PFF, love it, hate it, whatever it is. But I think it stands out on film. Whenever I watch the tape, I watch myself. I go back, I watch the skill guys, and I make sure I watch the O-line at least once or twice, every single guy. And I think Banks has stood out. I mean, our run game, I think a lot of the guys have stood out in the run game. It's fun to have Brunskill back out there. I think Spence is doing a really good job too, and we're just kind of clicking, and hopefully we can just take this momentum. I honestly hate to go on a bye right now because I feel like we just figured something out, but I'm going to enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to it.
How different is
2 questions today?
Last one.
how does 4-4 feel versus 3-5?
That's a lot different. I will say that. If we would have lost today, that would have been 3 weeks in a row without a win going into the bye week, which makes it 4. That would have, like I said last week, losing sucks. And being able to win this one to go into the bye. And also, I mean, I feel like I played the Rams like 4 times in 11 weeks of football. So I'm very happy that one's over. We can actually play different teams from now on. So looking forward to that. But, it's great going into a bye on a win. You really can't ask for anything better, especially given our situation. And, I think we've dropped some. I've said that already. We dropped a couple early on that we probably really shouldn't have. I wish we were sitting at 6-2, but 4-4 with 3 wins in the division. I'm okay with that.
Thanks, George.
Thanks, guys. Bye, safe.